What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassandra, and today we're talking about things I don't buy from the grocery store anymore. I saw over the weekend Sarah from our Tribe of Many did this video. I'm pretty sure she said, or she titled it 12 things I don't buy from the store anymore. I'll link that video down below if you want to see hers. But it got me thinking kind of as I was cooking breakfast, because Saturday mornings I always like pop up my phone and I'll watch YouTube videos because that's when I make a big, really nice breakfast spread for my family, and I catch up on YouTube videos, and that's what I was watching. And as I was cooking breakfast, it got me thinking, like, what have I stopped buying from the grocery store over the last year? And I kind of was making a mental list and then realized how many things that we really stopped buying over this last year because we preserved a lot of things or we learned new skills. And I just wanted to make this video because I thought it would be really fun just to talk to you guys about different things we've learned over the last year. And a lot of those things we've learned like together. You guys have come along with me and watched me learn how to can and growing skills and making bread and different things in the kitchen because I bring you guys along with me. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of recap on the last year, especially as we're heading into this next garden season, and just take a minute to really appreciate all the things that we've learned and have grown over the last year. I'm gonna put a lot of things under this one category, and that's like baked goods or bakery goods. So things like buns, cookies, breads, what we call like soup bread in our house, which is just a loaf of really soft, fresh bread. Muffins, we learned how to make a ton of different homemade frostings and different things like that. Basically anything that you would go to a bakery in your local grocery store and you could pick up from the bakery there. We've learned how to do all those things, tons of different cookies, and my cookie skills have gone from mediocre to just really prime cookies. And that's exciting too, taking something that you already knew how to do, but to like perfect it and get better at that skill. And that's been really fun too. We've learned a ton of different breads and rolls, and just recently we did hamburger buns together, and that's been a lot of fun. All of those really cool baked goods, which has saved me a ton of money this year. The next one is pickles. I learned how to do this a handful of years ago from my in-laws. They kind of gave me like a crash course in canning, and one of the things they taught me how to do was how to pack pickle jars and make pickles. I have not had to buy pickles at all this year. I don't think I'm gonna have to buy them at all like into the next coming year, because we did a huge batch of pickles last year. I'm pretty sure we did right around 60 jars of pickles, which is awesome. We did slices, and then we also did skewers, and they're awesome. We love the pickles very much, and it's cool to just be able to go downstairs and grab one off the shelf and not have to worry about ever having pickles for anything. Pizza sauce. This was one that I taught myself last year. I don't think I have any videos on it, but if I can remember and if I can find the video, I will link the video down below where I watched somebody else make pizza sauce and spaghetti sauce, and that's how I made mine. If I can find the video, I'm not even sure which YouTube channel it was. I'll link it down below for you guys. It was super easy, super convenient, and we did right around 100 jars of pizza sauce and spaghetti sauce last year because I use them interchangeably, and that's lasted us all year. We are just now coming to the end of all of our pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, and I'm excited to be able to make more of that this year. And truth be told, it is one of the easiest things that I learned how to can because it's super hands-off. I just throw a ton of stuff in my roaster, like my 22-quart roaster. I even made some in my crock pots because I had so many tomatoes come out of the garden at once, and we made so much sauce in those. You just turn it on, let it go, let it cook down. Take your immersion blender or a blender, you blend it up, and then you can can it, and it is the best sauce. It's amazing. So that's another thing that I didn't have to buy from the store at all this year. I have this in the same category, but we already talked about spaghetti sauce, but it's also Alfredo. I used to buy Alfredo sauce pretty rarely because Alfredo sauce from the store is much more expensive than just regular spaghetti sauce. But I learned how to make Alfredo this year, which is like heavy cream and butter and chicken stock and Parmesan cheese, and that has saved me a ton of money, and we're eating it much more regularly. And it's one of my family's favorite meals is an Alfredo type pasta. And it's really fun because we throw a ton of different stuff in our Alfredo, and it makes it a completely different meal, vegetable wise, protein wise, and that's really fun. It's a really good clean out of the fridge meal because I can take whatever leftovers we have You have a little bit of corn, a little bit of broccoli, a little bit of steak, maybe a little chicken. You just dump all of that in your alfredo and kind of toss it up, and it is a hit every single time. Everybody loves alfredo. Salsa, this is one that I didn't can as much of as I wanted to. I haven't had to buy it up to this point from last year, garden season, all the way up to now. I just opened our last jar of salsa, so that's another one. We're getting close to the end. I grew just about a year's worth, so I'm excited to get more on the shelf, but I didn't have to buy any salsa this last year. I also showed you guys how I like to use salsa to make like a Mexican style rice in my Instant Pot. That has been one of our favorite ways to use the salsa, but we also use it in, obviously, for chips and salsa, which is one of our favorite snacks. Another thing I learned how to do just recently, this was actually probably 2 months ago, I learned how to make jam. This is blackberry jam. If you guys watch my grocery hauls a couple months ago, I saw that the blackberries at Aldi were 99 cents for a case, and I went and bought a whole flat for about $20, and I got 5 pints of blackberry jam out of it. I didn't use any pectin in this. This is a low sugar, no pectin recipe, and they turned out amazing. It came out thick and beautiful and delicious, and I love that I didn't have to use pectin because fruit has a natural pectin in it, so it will gel up, or it can thicken up, and it's one less thing that I have to put in my jams. Just one less ingredient, one less thing to keep on hand, one less thing to buy. So literally the only thing that is in this jar is blackberries, sugar, a little bit of lemon juice. That's completely it, and it's amazing. My kids love it. It makes the best sandwiches. It makes the best toast. I'm looking forward to experimenting and using this in like breakfast cookies in place of applesauce. Use some blackberry breakfast cookies and jams and baked oatmeals and all sorts of things. These have been amazing, and I'm excited to get a ton more jam products, jelly products on the shelf this year, especially as strawberries are coming in. We just put a huge strawberry patch outside, so I'm so excited to make some strawberry jam and some mixed berry jam. We got all the berry plants outside. We just did that. I will link that video down below for you if that's up. If it's not, it's coming. But we put a ton of berries outside: blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, and I'm really excited to be able to make a ton of mixed jams. Our favorite jam on the planet is a bumbleberry jam, and it's just a mix of everything. You throw a little bit of everything in the pot, boil it down, and you get a mixed berry jam, and it's so good. So jam was one of the things we learned how to do, and I haven't had to buy any thus far because my mother-in-law makes jam and she always gives it to us. So between my mother-in-law and now myself, I haven't had to buy jam this year. Next one is chicken eggs. Of course, we have laying hens. I haven't had to buy eggs at all this year, and that might sound like, okay, well, you haven't had to buy eggs, but this is the first year I've had enough chickens, and I have given them the best coop to overwinter them, essentially, where they've kept producing for me all year long. Typically, this is the biggest flock I've ever had. We have 30 chickens right now, 2 roosters, so 28 hens. And this is the first year I've had enough hens where even if they slow down throughout the winter, which happens all the time, chickens kind of go dormant in the winter. Chickens are kind of solar powered. They need the sun coming up and setting. They need a certain amount of sunlight every day to continue to produce eggs, and without that they can slow down in the winter. But this is the first year that I've given them an optimal coop. We changed our coop this last year, gave them something that's really big and beautiful and kept them super toasty, warm, and all of those things. And they rewarded us with eggs all winter long, so I haven't had to buy eggs at all this year, which has been amazing. I've actually had so many eggs that we've been able to hand them out to family, friends, people who need them, people who want them, and that's been awesome. So I'm kind of cheating here, but not really. So what I'm gonna say is we buy our meat in bulk. We don't raise our meat like some other homesteads do or some other people do. We don't have the space, and quite honestly, I don't want to have the time to take care of an extended herd of animals. I love my chickens. It's very quick, very easy for me to go out there even throughout the winter. 15 minutes, I'm in and out. It doesn't take me a huge portion of my day to care for them and care for them properly. However, if we were to have cows and pigs and goats and all of the things, I don't want to have to tend to all of those things all the time. That's just me personally, and I know that about myself, so I'm not going to bring animals onto the homestead or onto our property that I don't want to take care of, because that's just means that the animals aren't going to be cared for properly, and that's just the truth. So we have bought our meat in bulk from other people. We buy our pigs from our neighbors right across the street. They come as locally as they can from people who do want to take the time to raise them properly and to give them the best care and to give them a good life and all the things to make sure that the meat is yummy and delicious and all those things. And it's cool because we can support them. They support us by taking some of our eggs and different things like that. So it's kind of a little community that we work together and we support each other, and that's been really awesome. So we buy our meat from them. We just purchased a whole pig. The next thing I haven't had to buy from the store at all is pizza. No more frozen pizza, no more anything like that. You will see my grocery hauls. Occasionally I'll buy like a take and bake pizza from Aldi on grocery shopping days. So technically I guess I have bought these from the grocery store over the last year, but it's very sparsely. I wouldn't even say it's every month. But I learned how to make pizza crust. My pizza crust recipe is linked down below, including my bread dough recipe that I use to make all of my baked goods, whether that be like breads, or what are those called? Cinnamon rolls, sweet rolls, all of those things. I'll link them down below. They're like down there for you if you want to know what bread recipe I use with the pizza crust recipe. But we use that pizza crust to make pizzas, strombolis, calzones. I've even made that pizza crust recipe into little bite-sized pizza rolls for my kids, and they loved those. So it's really fun, and I haven't had to buy any pizza crusts or frozen pizzas over the last year because we're making them ourselves. Along with that is garlic breads or garlic knots, breadsticks. I learned how to make breadsticks. I don't know if I've ever made them on camera. I've only made them a handful of times, but I will link that recipe down below that I'm currently using, and then maybe in an upcoming video I'll show you guys how we make breadsticks. I kind of want to go ahead and batch make a ton of breadsticks and get them in the freezer. That way when we want a couple of breadsticks, I can just throw a handful in at a time and I don't have to make a whole batch, because a whole batch makes like 20 breadsticks. So it would be nice to be able to just, you know, have a couple when we want them. Sure, there are more things that we have learned together here, how to make, how to preserve, how to get things on the shelf, how to provide for our families and ourselves, and skills we've learned. But these are the ones that came to me like right away, right off the top. And that is a huge list of things that we either learned how to make, we learned how to grow, preserve. And that's not even mentioning all the vegetables that we came out of the garden that we didn't quite grow a year's worth of. Broccoli, cauliflower, what else did we pull out of the garden? Green beans, snap peas, tons of stuff that came out of the garden last year. Zucchinis, squash, all the tomatoes that we preserved in 100 different ways. Hot sauce is another one. There, I learned how to make hot sauce last year. We got hot sauce on the shelf. I haven't had to buy hot sauce this year. So it just shows it was cool to sit down and take a minute and just appreciate everything that we did over this last year. Especially because when you're moving into this lifestyle, it can kind of feel like there's so much to learn, and there's so much because you're passionate and you're ambitious and you just want to hit the ground running and learn everything all at once. But it was really interesting to sit down, take a step back, and actually make a list and be like, wow, I did a lot last year. I learned a lot last year. And that's not even to mention all the things that my husband learned to preserve or to provide to create a more self-sustaining lifestyle here, whether that be fishing, hunting. He learned how to work a smoker this last year, and he's been smoking a ton of fish. He learned how to fillet fish, like really properly fillet fish. And we have tons of fish fillets in the freezer that he's been able to get over ice fishing, or the salmon run, or trout right now are running. And it's just awesome to have all of these things, to learn new things, and I think it keeps us sharp and keeps us really inspired. Just like that. Thank you guys so much for taking a little time out of your day to hang out with me. It is always an honor to be here with you. I hope wherever you are having a fantastic day today. And of course, I will catch you guys in the next one. Way back a year ago.
all my chips and call all